Hey, hi, hello, welcome. It has been a hot minute since I uploaded a video, and today's video is going to be a little bit more of a niche style video, a bit more chatty than my usual vlog style, so if this isn't your thing, I won't be offended. Feel free to click out. I'm hoping that this video can really reach the people that need to hear it, because if I have learned anything after being a personal trainer for 6 years, it's that there are a lot of people out there that if they could make these specific changes to the way that they are running their business, they could be so much happier, more gratified, and even, dare I say it, more successful in the businesses that they are currently running. I realize that this is just my experience, but I'm going to run through with you today a few crucial things that I implemented into my personal training business as well as my online coaching business that have really helped me be able to scale my business and take things to the next level. At the moment, I am specifically an online coach, so I just work with clients on an online basis rather than on a gym floor. However, I did work in a gym, both a commercial gym and small private studio gyms for quite a while in both Australia and in the UK. I was exposed to a lot of other personal trainers and a lot of different ways of dealing with business myself during this time, and I was able to pick up some tips and implement them into my own business strategies, and they've just helped so much. I didn't realize until having some conversations lately that not everyone is doing these things. So I can pretty much promise you that if you do incorporate these things into your personal training business, and to be honest, look at incorporating these things into all of your business structures, whether you be a personal trainer or an online coach, or I don't know, maybe you have a completely different job, but you still have a job in which you have scheduled interactions with people, calls, that type of thing. This is really applicable for quite a wide spectrum. Okay, let's get on to the first one, and I'm really gonna sound like a cliche here. I'm gonna sound like I'm coming straight from a personal training course. You need to look beyond weight. Clients will come to you and they'll say, I just wanna lose weight, I just wanna fit into this dress, or even I just wanna gain weight. You need to spend 5 minutes just chatting with them to realize that it's not about the weight. There is something else going on, and if you can really tackle the key problem at hand here, the weight loss or the weight gain will come as a nice side effect. All of the clients that I currently work with, we don't even really specifically focus on their weight. Maybe about 30% of my clients currently track their scale weight. The rest of them, we have so much other stuff going on that we need to tackle. I'm actually not bothered with that number on the scale. When people release their connections to the number on the scale, they are more able to stick to this type of lifestyle for a longer amount of time. So in doing that, your client retention rates are going to be higher, especially if, you know, they say they lose the 5 kilos that they've been wanting to. You've been able to focus on so many other aspects and elements of their life on top of that, like their well-being, their nutrition, how they're sleeping, how they're spending their time outside of the gym. They are going to stay with you on a longer basis than if you just sit down with them and say, okay, we're going to focus solely on losing those 5 kilos, because they will lose those 5 kilos. They'll think, cool, job done, they'll move on. But we're looking at client retention here. That is critical. I'm sorry, you're also going to notice that I speak with my hands a lot. I can't help it. I know it's annoying. I will try and stop a little bit, but I'm just a very passionate person. So work with them on breaking down the goal. It is not about the weight. Yes, in some instances, it's going to be about the weight, but I can almost guarantee you that in 90% of cases, it's not about the weight. I could do a whole separate video on how to really break this down, and if anyone requests it, I will, but I did want to keep this video quite brief today, and so I'm not going to go into the intricacies of it. I just want you to remember that it's actually not about the weight. That leads me to number 2, and number 2 is a little bit more of a business style recommendation, and that is getting each and every client on a direct debit payment system. I thought that this was just common knowledge. I thought that everybody did this, but after speaking to a few personal trainers back in my hometown where I currently am, where I would say that things are a little bit more backwards, I cannot believe the amount of PTs that I'm coming across that don't have their clients on a direct debit system, and it blows my mind. So if you're new to the whole idea of direct debit, or it's not really ringing any bells with you, it's just like your gym membership. You may have it in place that every week or every fortnight or even every month, a certain amount comes out of your bank account to pay to the gym. That is a direct debit. You don't have to think about it. It happens automatically. It's the same with personal training. When I get a new client on board, I get their bank details and I set it up in a system. So there are quite a few different systems for this. Personally, I use one called Easy debit. What will happen then is they can choose whether they would like to take weekly or fortnightly payments, and I also let them choose which day they would like their payments to come out so they can correlate that with the days that they get paid from their jobs. From there, I will then go onto the Easy Debit system that I have set up under my business name. I will put in their details. I'll choose the day that they want their payments to come out. I'll choose whether they want weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. I tend to steer away from monthly. I also do weekly and fortnightly, and then I can obviously put in my own fees, and it just happens from there. The one thing you will struggle with as a personal trainer is trying to get people to look beyond finances and look beyond money, because it's the first thing we think of. I can't afford personal training. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. People can. They just have to change their mindset towards these things. And I think as a society, we're just so fixated on this idea of money and savings. But if you can remind people that this is an investment in themselves, their self-care, their health, they are doing the right thing. So by putting them on a direct debit payment system, what happens there is it becomes an afterthought, and they're not thinking about the money anymore, and you're hopefully making them feel so great during their sessions that they can then validate this weekly payment that's coming out, and they're going to honestly put it to the back of their mind. Whereas if you're getting them to transfer money to you after every session, everybody feels a little bit funny when they have to transfer money. I know I personally do. Personal training, it's not cheap. People can feel hesitant before transferring a certain sum of money to someone. Whereas if it's just direct debit, you don't think about it. You know, we don't think about our gym memberships coming out of our bank account every week, and it's the same type of thing there. So if you can get every client, of course, you may have outliers, you may have people that are really against the idea, and in that situation, you have to work with them and you have to do what makes them feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, you're working, I don't want to say you're working for them, but it is very important to keep client comfort at the forefront of your mind. However, you do want to get most of your clients on a direct debit payment system. This is also very, very useful for cancellations. If a client does cancel on you, you've got a few different options. Me personally, if it is within that 24-hour period before our session, I will say to them, I'm more than happy to reschedule your session for another point at this week if it fits in with our diaries. However, unfortunately, I will have to take the payment out. You need to see yourself as a professional. If you were to cancel a doctor's appointment 24 hours before the appointment, chances are you will have to pay some sort of fee, and it's the same here. It's up to you how you want to go about this. So some people have it in place that if a client does cancel, say in the 48-hour period before the session, they will still have to pay 50% of the fees. If they cancel in the 24-hour period, they'll have to pay the full fee amount. Some people will do that so they only have to pay a 50% amount in the 24-hour period, but if it's day of, then they have to pay the full amount. Again, everyone's going to structure this a little bit differently. You have to find what works for you, and you have to stick to that. It can be really, really awkward. It can be really, really confronting and anxiety provoking to have to say to someone, look, I'm sorry that you're really sick right now, but you still have to pay me. That's a really harsh way of looking at it, but at the end of the day, we are professionals, and you need to put yourself on a professional level in order for others to take you seriously, and in order for you to take yourself seriously. If you let people walk all over you, they will. Set up a good cancellation policy, look after yourself in that aspect, and also the bonus is if you're on the direct debit payment system, again, you don't have to think about it because you know that the money is just going to come out, so it's up to them really whether they want to just go, you know what, I'm just going to skip this week, whatever the money can come out, you're still getting paid, or if they want to go, actually, can we reschedule? However you want to go about that, you have to work out what works for you in that aspect, but the benefit of having the direct debit payment system is that you're still getting paid at the end of the day. And that leads me on to my third and final topic, just so I can sort of keep this brief today, and that is have a cancellation policy in place. So I did just sort of touch on that for quite a little bit, but it is just vital that you have some sort of cancellation policy in place, or else you are going to be a very, very stressed personal trainer. Part of the parcel of being a personal trainer, unfortunately, and I've seen this more so in commercial gyms rather than small studio gyms, you're going to have a lot of cancellations. And sometimes you're going to have cancellations when you're there ready to go. It's going to be 7 a.m, you're ready, you've driven all the way here, you're set to go, you get a message saying, oh, sorry, not feeling well today. It's the reality of it. But this is when a cancellation policy and a contract comes in crucial. When you are signing up a new client, you need to be sending them a form with some terms and conditions. And in that form with terms and conditions has to be some sort of cancellation policy, as I mentioned previously. So what you put in that contract is completely up to you, and it's what you're comfortable with. So whether that be, you know, if you have to cancel your session within that 24-hour window, you'll still have to pay 50% of the fee. If you cancel, you have to pay the full fee. If you cancel day of, again, there are so many different ways that you can go around this. If you have any questions regarding this, please do let me know, and I can tell you how I personally go about this. Again, I'm going to bring up the direct debit payment system. The easiest way here is to say that if you do cancel, the way that I've always gone about this personally, and because I've always had my clients on a direct debit system, is if they cancel even up until the minute of, I will say to them, look, the payment is going to come out anyway this week, so why don't we try and reschedule for another point in the week? And then two things will happen off the back of that. Either they'll say, look, I'm super busy for the rest of the week, that's cool, I'll just see you next week. Again, I'm still getting paid for that. Or we can find a time that lines up with their schedule and my schedule, and they can still get their session in. No stress there. It really depends on factors like how close you live to the gym, what your diary is like, what their schedule is like, all of those things. You know, the last gym that I worked at, the gym was literally on the bottom of my apartment floor. So I was very easily accessible for my clients. It was very easy to reschedule. But then don't fall into the trap of them getting comfortable with rescheduling, because what will happen is they'll think, oh, it was so easy to just reschedule another session next time. I'm a little bit tired today. I'll just ask if we can reschedule again. Because you will then get those clients, and I've had this happen to me, where they will become very reliant on rescheduling, and days where they wake up and they can't be bothered to exercise, they'll try and reschedule, and before you know it, your own personal schedule becomes completely flipped over, and you don't want that. And that sort of ties into the whole idea of making your own schedule of availability. So when I was PTing, I would get Google Calendar up. I would make sure to put in my client times, the times when I was training personally, and the times that I wanted blocked out for just my own relaxation, or whether I had to program some online clients, do some online work, or I had doctor's appointments, things like that. You need to block out those times. So if you get someone saying, oh, could we do Tuesday at 10 a.m? You need to be able to look at that calendar and go, actually, I'm so sorry, I've got something on at that time. Or, you know what, actually, that's a free hour. Sure, let's do that instead. Be flexible, but structurally flexible. Have some plans in place, but allow a little bit of room for movement. Okay, this has been a bit of a brain dump of information, so I hope you were able to take away something from this. And look, I think even if you're not a personal trainer, I'm sure there's still some sort of snippet of information and wisdom you can take away from it. If you have any questions, please either leave a comment below or feel free to DM me on Instagram. They're always open, and I'm happy to chat about this. As you can tell, I'm very, very passionate about it. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If this is the kind of videos you like, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. If you've got any other video ideas or anything you want to see from me, please do leave a comment down below. I don't know if I'm gonna come back with the whole vlog style video. Honestly, every single day I'm like, do I want to do that again? I did it for a long part of my life. We'll see. More than anything, you know, I know that these chatty videos, they don't get as much engagement. They don't get as many comments and likes and shares as the what I eat in a day videos, but if I can just pass on my knowledge to one person through this video, job done. If you ask me, job absolutely done. So I'm gonna wrap this up here. I'm very much known for my ramblings. All my clients will tell you that. Oh, that reminds me as well, if you are interested in online coaching, I'm gonna leave all of my details in the description box down below, and you can join my little team of amazing people. Enjoy the rest of your day, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in my next video.